So there is no correct way to hold a guitar. There's no official way to play it, and there's no need to discuss it that way with children. So when you give a child a guitar, or here's a ukulele, very small one, pretty much I'm just going to say, here you go, have fun, and see how they accept it, see how they decide to work with it. Usually with a large guitar, they really need to sit on the ground, have it on their lap or on a rug in front of them, and they can brush the strings however they can and hold it steady. The only thing that is going to be frustrating is if they mute the strings with that one hand by just touching them in any way, and it won't make a sound. However, of course, muted strings is a very, very common way to play guitars, as well as holding it vertically, standing up against our chest. Sometimes people will even use a bow from another instrument and play it. There's really no reason to say that it needs to look like this, how we see people playing most of the time. It's definitely perfectly acceptable to do it to flat or standing up. Left-handers will often want to flip it around, sometimes not. It's totally fine for them to want to play the little tiny strings up top. They do make interesting sounds. They are much tighter. There are real songs where they play these in recorded music. So there's no reason to tell someone, this is how you play guitar. We always want to say, this is how I like to hold it. Or it might be easier if you have a flat hand so the strings won't be muted and then it will sound louder, right? You can drum on the surface. However, very hard drumming on a very thin piece of wood could damage it. So it's legitimate to talk about how hard we can drum on them. And the most common problem I actually see with kids working with it was when they're finished. They will put it on the ground in front of them and then put their hands on the body or the neck to help themselves stand up. And that could actually just snap a guitar in half if they do it too roughly. So I would say that is not a way to hold a guitar, because the only thing we're looking for is rude and rough behavior, right? So if they're damaging it, if they are using it in a way to be mean or rude to the instrument or to those around them, then of course that's not the way we play a guitar. But every other way is perfectly acceptable, using a pick or a slide or a very light, small, like a chopstick. You can bounce them on top of the strings and it can make great sounds. It's very fun. Also a thing professional musicians do. So, don't be afraid to let them get comfortable with it. And also yourself, if you're still learning, you can really hold a guitar or any stringed instrument any way you like.